Welcome to Flyer Nation. I'm your host, Matt Mohan. Today we are going to be taking a look at the men's hockey team here at Lewis. Men's hockey having a great year so far, 7-4-1 on the season. Just coming off a big win against the University of Wisconsin-Oshkosh, big two-game sweep against them. On our show today, we're going to have junior defenseman Dillon Partial and sophomore forward Jack Darcy. Don't forget, if you missed any previous episodes of Flyer Nation, you can check them out on the Lewis University Television Network's YouTube channel. To start our show today, I'm going to be joined by junior defenseman Dillon Partial of the men's hockey team. Dillon, as I mentioned earlier, you guys are having a great year so far, one of the best years you guys have had in quite some time here at Lewis. Got a little bit of a winning streak going right now, 3 wins in a row. What has impressed you most about your team so far this year?
I think it's going to have to be everybody's buying in really well. We're all working together. We're coming to the rink knowing what we got to do every day. We're working hard. We're doing what we need to do, and it's showing on the ice.
Yeah, it is showing off. Did you guys know coming into the season that you guys were going to be good? Was there kind of a general vibe of that before the season, or have you kind of found your guys' way and kind of built something more as the season has progressed?
Yeah, I definitely think coming into every year it's a little bit of a surprise. You want to think that you're going to be good, but you don't want to rely on that. It kind of came into fruition probably about 2 weeks in, when everybody started getting really close together, working really hard. Hell Week was over, so we had a lot of time to just be hockey players and get to spend some time with each other, which really helped with the bonding, and then that translated to the winning.
Hell Week, that does not sound fun.
Yeah,
what did you guys have to do for that?
It's pretty much just Monday through Friday, where you just work out all day and skate, so it's definitely tough.
Yeah, that sounds tough. Definitely not for me. So you guys compete in the NCHL. It's the Northern Collegiate Hockey League. A lot of tough opponents you guys have to face. A lot of bigger schools. I know you guys got to play Marquette in your next game. You guys play Loyola, DePaul, tough opponents, big schools. Do you find it challenging, since Lewis is a little bit more, it's definitely a smaller university to some of these bigger schools. Do you find it challenging going up against these programs that have more resources and just more players to choose from in general?
I mean, yeah, it's definitely, you could tell when you're on the ice. You could, especially with some of these schools having NCAA programs on there, so they'll drop a few guys down on their club team, which is where we play.
Yeah.
So it's pretty prevalent on the teams that we play against. Also, I feel like the speed and the IQ. I mean, you could tell when the players are a little bit more skilled and have a little bit more natural talent. But when it comes down to it, just with us working hard and if we run our systems right, there's really nothing really challenges us too hard.
Now, an interesting dynamic of your team that I've noticed is you guys have a lot of new faces and a lot of young players. 8 new bodies onto the team this year. A lot of those guys are freshmen. In fact, some of your most successful players this year have been freshmen. I know your leading goal scorer is a freshman, Matthew Morrow. Since you have a lot of youth on your team and not that many seniors, only a handful, 4 or 5 seniors on your team, do you find yourself in more of a leadership role for these younger guys, even though you're a junior?
Oh yeah, I definitely think having a letter on my chest too, that definitely helps that. It's pretty important that everybody steps in and does their job very well.
Yeah.
I think part of our success is that everybody is contributing, so I know that we got our freshmen are doing very well. As well as our third line seniors, our fourth line guys. So they're all kind of working together. I wouldn't really single anybody out too much.
Let's rewind it a little bit. Let's take it back and talk a little bit about you. What got you and drew you to this sport when you were younger? What about hockey has really kind of attracted you and made you want to play it?
I learned from my mom's ex-boyfriend. On Christmas Eve, we went skating. It was just kind of a thing that we did on I guess he did every Christmas.
Yeah.
So we would go. I went there, and then I was pretty good at it, so I just stuck with it. And then every year that I played on a team, every single time I got closer and closer with those guys, and you start to play with guys for multiple years, and then you really build a really strong relationship with them, and that's where it comes from,
Yeah, you just get better and better as the years go on, for sure. Now you have a little bit of an interesting story, getting here to Lewis. I know you played one season with the Chicago Cougars. It's a team in the United States Premier Hockey League, which is a junior hockey league for a very high-tier junior hockey league. A lot of good players. What was kind of your journey, getting to that point, and then now playing here at Lewis?
So it actually started with me playing in the Dells first. At the beginning of the season, I signed with the Dells Ducks.
Okay.
So I went and played there. Wasn't really playing too much, and got traded to Minnesota. And then I got traded back to the Dells, and then I got traded to Chicago.
Wow.
So there was a lot of moving around there. Got traded a couple times. The final one was on my account, so I was lucky enough to go home, which home is where I live, about 10 minutes away from that rink. In that league, everybody's really going to college. That's the main.
That's the goal.
Yeah, that's the goal. Is going to be everybody's going to college. So I kind of wanted to stay around here. Illinois State was something I was looking at. Lewis was something I was looking at, and then back home in Florida Gulf Coast, something I was looking at. But then coming here, I think it was actually in this room. I walked in on the welcome day and saw a buddy across the way, and he actually plays hockey too. It's Nick Mate.
Yeah,
he plays on the team. Yeah. So saw him, and we got to. I didn't even know he was going to be here. We started talking, and then they have a pre-chiro program here, which drew me in because I want to be a chiropractor. And
it worked perfkily.
It's all history. Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about the Premier Hockey League. It sounds pretty tough getting moved around like that. What was that like? You got to find a new place to live every single time. What's that all like?
It was really tough. You live with a billet family. You get assigned a billet family, so somebody who lives around there is a family who's just offers to take players in. Okay. I got moved around to different houses, and they're fantastic families. And then I lived with my mom at home when I came to Chicago.
Hopping around. That's a really interesting experience.
Yeah, but I wouldn't change it for anything.
No, very valuable.
Awesome.
You learn a lot. What would you say you learned most from that experience playing in that league that's helped you here now at Lewis?
It's going to be accountability. Accountability is if you're not held accountable for your actions, it's just nothing's going to go well. And I feel like if you work in the work ethic as well, work ethic is huge. One of my things that I say is nobody's ever going to work harder than me. And if you live by that, pretty much you're going to be fine. You
were also able to build a lot of chemistry with the Cougars. I know one of your teammates when you played here in Chicago is Zach Bishop, which is a sophomore defenseman for this team. Playing with him, how is building that bond in the Premier League translated over to playing with him now at Lewis?
Yeah, it's awesome. We're actually D partners here, and we were line mates back there too. So it's pretty nice coming back. So we've been playing with each other for 3 years now on the same team, pretty high levels. So it's just kind of all every year it gets a little bit closer, a little bit better. And so the future's looking bright.
Yeah, you talked about accountability and how important that is. You've hopped around. You've played for a lot of different teams. You've been playing for a long time. What would you say, in your mind, are the most important characteristics that you've learned, let's say other than accountability, that really make a great hockey player?
It's going to be time management. Work ethic, like I said before, is huge. I'd say work ethic is going to be the biggest one because a lot of people, they want it. Like they want to be a hockey player, but they don't really want it. They don't do what it takes.
The work.
Exactly.
Yeah, for sure.
Exactly.
Yeah. All right, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to hear more from junior defenseman Dillon Partial. Stay with us. Welcome back to Flyer Nation. Once again joined by Dillon Partial of the Lewis men's hockey team. Dillon, you're a defenseman, so it's really important for you to be aggressive out there on the ice and really play physical and play tough. Could you just elaborate a little bit more about what your specific job is being on defense for this team?
Yeah, I got a pretty fun role. It's pretty much just to run around, hit guys, get the puck out of the zone, and make sure the pucks don't go to our net. So I'm blocking a lot of shots. It's not the most
most glamorous job.
No, definitely not. Not the greatest feeling ever. You get hit with pucks too. So, but at the end of the day, if it helps the team win, I'll.
Yeah, you got to be tough.
Anything, yeah.
You like hitting people? Is that something that gets you going?
I do. Yeah.
Sounds good. All right. So along with Matt Ernsting, he's a captain. You've been an alternate captain this is your second year now, being an alternate captain. What has that added responsibility do? What kind of extra things do you have to do as a captain?
I definitely say you got to start with your on-ice behavior. You got to lead by example.
For sure.
And then also just making sure everybody's doing their things, doing stuff to help out the team, designating different jobs, something like that's going to be really, really what my role is, and specifically with me is going to be being very vocal, making sure everybody's up on the bench, playing well, getting loud, supporting the team. That's pretty much one of my biggest roles.
Now, you guys started off the season hot. You had a couple big wins over Bowling Green State. Then, you went through a little bit of a rough patch, had some losses, a tie mixed in there, but now you guys are back up on a nice 3-game winning streak right now. What is your mindset, going into each individual game? Because it can be tough. There's a lot of ups and downs over the course of the season. What do you do to handle rough patches?
Yeah, I think it's just going to be doing the little things right. If you see something on the ice that's somebody's doing something well, you're going to want to make sure you get loud, make sure everybody else is telling them, hey, good job. It gets their morale up, and then that spreads like wildfire on the bench, and before you know it, everybody's going crazy. So
yeah, definitely. Now, you are an exercise science major here at Lewis. It's not easy. We've had a lot of students on the show, and they talk about how hard it is balancing, practice and games and traveling, along with, being a full-time student at the same time. What are the biggest challenges that you face on a daily basis being a student athlete?
Actually, one of the things that I mentioned for juniors, time management, that's probably going to be the hardest thing, because there's a lot of stuff that you kind of got to pick and choose what you got to do first, what's more important, what's going to be more beneficial for you. So that's probably the biggest thing, is time management. That's huge.
Yeah, it's important in life. It's important for everything. You're an exercise science major. What does the future hold for you? What do you plan to do with that? If you could have one job right now, what would that be?
A professional hockey team sports chiro. Nice. The goal is going to be going to school to get my master's in sports health science, and then my doctorate in chiropractic.
All right, well, I got a little bit of a fun question to finish up your segment today. If you could spend the day in the shoes of one teammate, who would that be and why?
A teammate on our team?
Yeah, of one teammate.
Oh, that's good. I'd probably say Gore.
Gore?
Yeah, he's a quiet guy, and you kind of look at him, and you'd want to know what's going on in his head. I don't know.
A little bit of a mysterious fellow, I see. Yeah, no, that's interesting.
He's a good kid.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, I'm going to have a different player, sophomore forward Jack Darcy of the men's hockey team. Stay with us. Welcome back to Flyer Nation. I am now joined by sophomore forward Jack Darcy of the Lewis men's hockey team. As we mentioned earlier, Lewis having a great year this year, on a little bit of a win streak right now, 3 in a row. You guys just got a huge sweep, 2 games over University of Wisconsin Oshkosh, one of your tougher opponents. Yeah. You guys have had a lot of success here recently. What has that done for your guys' confidence?
I think it's helped bring us up quite a bit. Like I know I joined late in the season, but when I came in, we had lost 1 game, tied 1 game that weekend when I first got here. So I think it's helped kind of get us back on track to the up and up. And having that sweep really helped, because now we're in playoffs, so we're just fighting for a better seat, which is nice. But I think it's helped bringing us all up at once, as opposed to just having guys peak at random and stuff like that. So
yeah,
it's nice to have that confidence back.
Building a little bit of momentum.
Yeah, exactly.
Have you been feeling, since you joined the team, since you joined late, which we'll get into later, but have you felt kind of that confidence growing more and more since you've gotten here?
Yeah, absolutely. It's been noticeable since I've gotten here, just because I've been out of the game for a little bit, so I think it's easier to get that new set of eyes on everything. You can kind of see it a little bit better in a different light.
You play Loyola. I know Marion's a tough opponent for you guys. What do you think is going to be the biggest key to maintaining this success the rest of the way that you guys have had?
I'd say keeping our heads up, not letting frustration build up too high and lashing out or anything like that. I think that has a tendency to kind of start a downfall on teams, and I've been a part of that in the past with teams before. But I think just keeping our heads up and just keep fighting and just keep, like I said, keeping that momentum going as much as we can.
Yeah, it's important to stay together, absolutely.
Exactly.
So let's talk a little bit about you. Yeah. Hockey is a little bit more of a rare sport. Not a ton of kids, especially from this area, have gotten into it. What really drew you to hockey? When did you start playing?
I started playing when I was about 10 years old. I actually didn't like it. My brother played and my best friend played, and I used to make fun of him for whatever reason. I thought it was not the best sport to play, and then as soon as I touched the ice, I could not stop playing. I loved playing, yeah. And then actually, I was the only one that continued to play. I don't know if from me making fun of my brother playing like he wanted to stop or something.
Ironic,
Right?
huh?
Yeah. So I thought that was kind of funny. But it was mainly my brother and my buddy got me into it. We just went to stick and puck where you just go and shoot around. And I mean, from there I just grew a love for the game. So.
Awesome, yeah, that's really interesting. Yeah. We had your teammate on earlier, Dillon. He's a defenseman, so a lot more of his job is to be physical, go out there and hit people. You have a little bit more of a finesse job. Your job as a forward, you got to be more attacking, scoring goals. Could you just describe kind of your responsibilities as a forward, more specifically, when you're out there on the ice?
I'd say my responsibilities is to just try and keep that puck in the zone and create a little more opportunity, as most of the forwards would do. We just got to keep that momentum, and then, of course, always make sure that you got defense on your back end, and just make sure that you're always aware of the puck and the area that it's in, and just be pretty much aware of your surroundings on the ice. So just keeping that puck in the zone and trying to help that momentum grow. So.
Yeah, create scoring chances.
Correct,
Very important. You a Hawks fan?
I am a Hawks fan. Yeah.
Chicago native. I respect that. Do you have a favorite player?
Honestly, I love Andrew Shaw. He's just so scrappy. So
yeah, really hard worker. Yeah. Is there anything you like Andrew Shaw? Are there any other players that you kind of try to emulate, you look up towards in the NHL, and you kind of try to copy what they do and bring their skills and practice anything specifically?
I would say Sidney Crosby. I know he's probably like a pretty big answer if you asked a lot of kids that question, but I like his edge work. Everything about him is he is extremely finessive on the ice. So he does a great job with his edges, and it's just fun to watch him defensively and offensively because he can adapt so quickly.
Yeah, absolutely. One of the great players of our generation, for sure. Great talent. Oh, yeah. All right, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to hear more from sophomore forward Jack Darcy. Stay with us. Welcome back to Flyer Nation. I am once again joined by sophomore Jack Darcy of the Lewis men's hockey team. Jack, you're number 86 for Lewis this year since you just joined. Why did you choose that number? Is there any special meaning behind it?
Actually, one of my dad's friends used to play hockey growing up, and he played all the way up into the Farmers League for New Jersey, and that was the number that was assigned to him, so he's kind of been a big influence on me. So yeah, I like to replicate that number as much as I can.
Definitely good. Carry on the legacy, carry on the support. Your family is a great family here at Lewis. They've supported the university in a very large way, the Darcy family. They've been great donors. What are the multiple rooms on campus are named after them. Mm-hmm. One of them is the Darcy room. It's in the Pastoral Center. Yeah. That's very widely used, very important. Did you feel obligated to come here to Lewis because of the legacy that you've had, or was it more the choice that you made on your own?
It was more of a choice I made on my own. Like you said, my family has had a lot of ties with this school, but I never felt pushed to go here or pressured or anything like that. So I think they were always concerned mainly with my interest and what I wanted to do. So. Do
you feel proud to kind of carry on this legacy here at Lewis?
Absolutely. Yeah, I do feel proud for that.
You're a recent addition to the team. Can you just kind of go into a little bit about how you came here to Lewis and how you signed to play with the hockey team?
Yeah, so I originally wasn't going to go here, like I said. I was going to go to DePaul and play up there. And then last minute, because I had got my pilot's license, I figured I'd rather keep flying than try and get like a finance degree or something. Just because it didn't totally interest me as much as this does. So
no, I understand.
Yeah, the main reason I came here was the major, because it was most interesting to me, and then also it's real close to my home, so it's easy to commute. And plus, I just heard great things. When I came here for my visit, it was just a good campus atmosphere. Everyone was so friendly. So.
Yeah, just the perfect fit. Yeah, for sure. How did it feel the first time when you took the ice pulling on the Lewis jersey? What was that like?
Oh, it felt awesome. I hadn't played in almost 2 years, so I had a little bit of rust to shake off. But they were all really welcoming, and it was just a great team. You could tell there was a lot of camaraderie on there. So it was nice to be a part of a group aspect again and be in the locker room with those guys. So it was nice to be welcomed by them.
Let's look towards the future, 20, 30 years down the road when you're an old guy looking back on your times playing hockey when you were younger. What do you think you're going to remember most about this experience, being a hockey player at Lewis?
Honestly, I would say the brotherhood for sure. Like I said, I was welcomed very well by all these guys, so it was nice to see that. So that'll probably be the biggest memory that sticks out for me.
So you're a flight major here at Lewis. You want to be a pilot when you grow up?
Yes, sir, yeah.
Is there anything kind of that you've learned being a hockey player here so far, or just in your entire life playing hockey, that you think would translate over from the ice to your career afterwards?
Totally. I would say situational awareness is probably the biggest one. Because being on the ice, you got to be aware of who's around you, whether it's on your team, the other team, where the puck's at, time management. You got to know what the clock's at. So I'd say most certainly, yeah.
Yeah, attention to detail for
Right,
sure,
yeah.
All right, we're going to take another quick break. When we come back, I'll have both players. We'll have Dillon, we'll have Jack again. Stay with us. Welcome back to Flyer Nation. I got both the guys with me now, Dillon Partial, Jack Darcy, Lewis men's hockey team. Guys, what does a typical week look like being a part of your guys' team?
So it's going to be pretty consistent on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday on ice with a workout on the before that, so around an hour and a half workout before practice, and then leading into the games.
All right, so you got some tough workouts. Do you guys do anything in terms of bonding outside of practice? You guys hang out a lot?
I'd say a little bit, yeah. Especially like after games and stuff on Saturdays, we'll all just kind of go back and hang out. I know it's been like, if it's a long weekend or something, we'll just kind of relax. But I mean, usually, we're at the rink pretty early to the point where like, we can all just kind of hang out before we got to do our warm-ups and stuff. So
It sounds like you guys are with each other a lot. Do you guys have any special pregame rituals that you guys do before games that you anything?
Yes, we do. It's gonna be sewer. It's
Sewer.
2-touch. Yeah. So we'll get everybody in a circle and get a soccer ball, and you have 2 touches to keep it up, and then yeah, it's pretty much what we do. And then once we get into like the real games of sewer, you want to tell them about the real games of sewer?
they're a little nerve-wracking.
A little intense.
Yeah, they're very intense. One, if you don't keep it up, everyone's gonna be mad at you. But also, there's an object of the game to get someone else out, so you can just blast it at somebody. And you better be ready for it. Yeah, so it's a little nerve-wracking, but it's a ton of fun.
So recently you guys just had the Hockey Fights Cancer series. You guys wore special pink jerseys for that event. It was a huge fundraiser. You guys raised over $1,000 for cancer patients. You guys auctioned off your jerseys to fans, and you gave them to the fans that bought them. What was that whole experience like, that whole weekend?
It was really cool, honestly. I've honestly never been a part of a Hockey Fights Cancer game, which is normally you do it in juniors. So I was excited that we got to do it when I was in college.
Nice.
It was really cool to kind of see everybody in the rink was they're being very supportive that we were doing a bake sale, and people were walking by, even if they weren't coming to the games. They just literally just threw it on a $20 bill and then just walk away. They wouldn't take anything. They're just really supportive. So that was kind of cool to see.
Yeah, I think it was nice too. It translated to the other team as well, which was cool. I think they liked what we were doing. They were glad to be a part of it as well. So.
Yeah, definitely. Now, I know I went to one of your guys' games, the home opener. It was a great game. You guys played Bowling Green State. Had a huge crowd there, a lot of people there. What is that like, having such a large fan section, having so many students that are rowdy? How does that affect you guys throughout the game?
I'd say it really just amps us up. Really, like it helps drive the momentum and helps us keep going forward. So.
Yeah, for sure.
Essentially a larger scale of what I'm trying to do on the bench. So
Yeah,
just getting everybody going. It's
Now, if you could ask other players on your team to, I guess, describe your play styles, describe you in a few words, how would that be? What would they say?
I'd probably say workhorse.
Workhorse. Nice.
Loud. Obviously
Rambunctious.
skilled. Just skill is huge. Skill guy. That's
Exactly.
a big one.
Finesse guy,
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah. How about you, Jack?
I don't even know how to answer that, to be honest with you. I do have a teammate here.
Oh no, buddy! I had to.
How would you describe Jack?
Oh, that workhorse. Skill too. He's got some sick moves. Great forechecker. I mean, great player.
All right, so I'm sure this experience for you guys here at Lewis playing has been awesome. If you guys, in 3 words, could describe what playing for this program has meant to you, what would that be? Only 3 words now.
That's a good one.
Yeah. I'd say for one, it'd for sure be an honor to play. Yeah.
For sure. Absolutely, yeah.
That's a good one.
I took it from you.
3 words. I'm trying here. I'm
It's
trying to
tough.
think.
It's almost
You do one
indescribable.
word.
Yeah,
You do
it-
one. Indescribable. is the
indescribable.
word?
Honestly,
All right.
indescribable. It's everything. I'm gonna be remembering this for like until the day that I die.
Yeah.
And talking to these guys to the day that I die. I know they're gonna be at my wedding. I know they're gonna be at my funeral. I know they're gonna be around my life. for, until I die.
Yeah, it sounds like you guys have a great brotherhood for sure. Great team this year too, guys. You guys have been doing well. Once again, this is Dillon Partial and Jack Darcy of the Lewis men's hockey team. They've been having a great year this year. They play at the Canlan Ice Arena, so make sure to show your support for these guys. Canlan's just about 10-15 minutes up the road right here in Romeoville, so it's nice and close. Yeah, these guys have been doing a great job. Best of luck for the rest of the way for you guys. Hope you guys finish the season off strong. That's going to be it for this episode of Flyer Nation. I'm your host, Matt Mohan. Check out our next episodes of Flyer Nation on the Lewis University Television Network's YouTube channel.